I just watched all my friends get hit in the face with household objects. Welcome to Gray Students Live. Ow. So that's what that feels like. Welcome to Gray Students Live, where we like to have some fun, laugh a little, and maybe discover and own something about who you are, who God is, who you are to God, who God is to you. Well, if you recall a couple weeks ago, this is me.
Hi, I'm Olaf. Oh, 300 Scoville. Okay. That one's actually still pretty good. Oh, it's Anaheim. Slam! Doors shutting everywhere, sisters torn apart! Cayenne pepper. Their parents are dead. There we go. Oh, okay. Scotch bonnet. Okay. This, but there's that one. Oh! 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 Oh, just a second. Camera. Oh no, that was so much. Oh! Oh, this one's doubling the last one. Guys! Oh, that was so much sauce! Oh no! Oh!
Now, if you also recall, Blair asked me for any advice, and these were my last words.
If your friends want you to do a Ghost Pepper challenge, they're not your friends.
Well, I'm sorry, Adam and Kate, I'm clearly not your friend.
All right, welcome to Too Hot to Handle with Kate Fox Fuller. We got a whole bunch of questions. We've dug deep into Kate's history, into her Instagram, into her Twitter.
Oh, no.
We've asked questions of her friends and family. And what we have is we not only have 11 questions, but we have 10 Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets that we have specially prepared with 10 different hot sauces. They go from just mild to way hotter than ghost pepper. And the best part of this whole thing is Kate is a gigantic baby when it comes to hot sauce. Hates it. Is probably going to cry.
Yep.
But same with me. I cannot stand hot sauce. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be awesome. All right, Kate, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with a warm-up just to get you going before we even eat anything. So here's your warm-up question. Who is your favorite student ministry staff member at the Wilmington campus?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say Truman. Truman is my answer.
Truman.
Just,
all right.
He's pretty cool.
Interesting you'd say that. All right. In April of 2016, you tweeted this. My question for you is, what steps are you taking now at this stage in your life to accomplish this important life goal? Let's take a bite and talk.
I'm like pretty interested in Disney princesses. I'm not doing anything right now, but like if Disney wants to hire me to be a princess, like I will be. I'll be a princess. Preferably like Ariel, maybe Moana.
I barely even tasted anything.
Yeah, it kind of like dissolved into the chicken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. This one amps up a little bit. Oh, it's on the bottom.
See, I like that one.
That's good.
I'm okay with that one. Pretty
Got
good.
some flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Can you sum up your life in 20 seconds?
I was born, then I moved a lot, then I went to Gordon College and became a student ministry director at Grace Chapel. Then I got married to Josh, then we got a golden doodle. Now I'm gonna be a social worker. I really like ice cream and foxes. Is that all?
I like that's pretty
Is that
good.
20 seconds?
And then your life came to a screeching
Yeah.
halt.
And today is the day that I die. So, just to let you know.
All right, so let's go on to the next one. We got number 3. I can see it. It's like a greenish, yellowy goop on top. All
That's
right.
not very appetizing.
No.
You ready?
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh,
It's getting there.
that's got a little more kick to it.
Uh-huh.
Other than your parents, who's your hero?
My hero?
Mm-hmm.
I'm weird. I really like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I just think she's so magnificent and great. It's really spicy. I'm having a hard time talking.
All right. All right, we got another one here, but before
no.
we get to it, we're going to show you another quick picture. This is an Instagram post of yours.
Oh.
This might be my favorite thing I found in your Instagram. Now, can you read out loud the caption that you put on there? And then
Yes.
we're going to take a bite and talk.
It says, I'm never throwing this away.
Interesting. Let's take a bite. Oh.
Woo!
Questions. 1, do you still have that?
Nope.
No?
Threw it away.
Who's your favorite Jonas brother and
Oh.
why?
I think Kevin is super underrated, and he lives his life in New Jersey with his wife and 2 children. And I do really love Kevin. I still love the Jonas Brothers very much. They're amazing.
Interesting. All right, let's move on. Oh.
Oh, my question.
Wow, that was a significant jump up. If your dog Sully could talk. All right. Oh. If we could talk, yeah. So if Sully could talk, what question would you want to ask him? And what do you think his answer would be?
What is his obsession with window curtains? He is obsessed with window curtains. He's always tangling himself up in curtains. I'm gonna cry. And I just want to know, like, why does he do that? So I want him to tell me.
I have to admit, that was the answer that I heard the least of. Because I was, like, involved in my own misery over here a little bit. That's only number 5. Cheers. Maybe I just didn't hit it as much, but let's see. I'm going to scoop it up. That one doesn't seem to hit me quite as hard. We'll see. Tell me about Josh. Like, give me the elevator pitch for Josh.
So Josh is very smart. He's good at throwing himself into what he does, and he is very passionate about, like, helping other people learn about the things that he does. He's a neuropsychology student. He is really dedicated, and I enjoy that about him. And he's also really silly, and he's a terrible whistler. And he will buy a bubble gum from a bubblegum machine every single time he walks by one. Every time. He always has to have a quarter for the gum machines.
That's awesome. I love
It's
that.
really weird.
All right, so that one snuck up on me.
Yeah.
It wasn't much at first,
It was-
but the longer you've talked,
kept
the hotter
going.
it has gotten.
Yeah.
And I feel like my whole mouth is on fire.
Yep.
Also, I think I have a little chicken in my teeth.
Pick it out.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's good.
Pick it out.
That's good cinema right there.
This one's really bad.
They're getting like darker and thicker and more viscous. Well, it actually made my eyes water a little bit just to sniff it. Are you ready?
No.
Oh, it's just getting so hot.
I'm not ready. Oh. I got a lot of that one.
I did too. I got the whole thing. Oh,
It's so gross. It's so gross.
that is horrible. Okay, what's an embarrassing memory that you'll never forget?
Okay. One time, I can't even talk. I was in a bathroom. I was on a mission trip, so it was like a school bathroom, and I needed to poop, but I was afraid of pooping in front of other people. And I thought that I was alone in the bathroom, and I was like, okay, poop and go, poop and go, poop and go, talking to myself. And then the toilet flushed next to me, and there's a person in the stall. I'm crying because of the hot sauce, not because of the story.
This one is horrible.
I'd go fast.
Okay,
I'd do
3
it
more.
Really fast.
3 more. This picture, 24 ounces of joy. Can you just give us a little bit of your thought process on that? Let's take a quick bite. You don't
Yeah.
have to eat the whole thing if you don't want.
That was play practice, and we used to go to Dunkin' Donuts because it was down the street. And I got 24 ounces of coffee. I was a coffee addict in high school. I drank a lot of coffee.
Oh, this one's really bad. All right.
Coffee was great.
What do you like best about student ministry?
Oh no,
Oh,
I can't
that
do it.
hurts.
Don't even.
I like to care for students. I like that we do weird things, but not this. I don't like doing this.
All right, what's one of your life's greatest regrets, and is this it?
I can't do it. Oh, Adam.
Just a quick bite and then go there.
All right.
Please don't die.
Did you do it?
did.
Okay. My life's biggest regret is eating that hot sauce chicken nugget. I'll never do it again. Never do it again.
I'm crying.
I couldn't swallow it.
I should have brought tissues.
Could you do me a favor? Would you run inside and ask Mama for the...
Oh man, I'm glad that wasn't me. Adam and Kay, I know that pain. I know that pain. Well, you might know that I have a younger brother, and for those of you who are older siblings, I'm praying for you. If you're a younger sibling, you don't know how good you have it. My brother and I have some fun times. We also have some hard times, but at least my brother and I never fought like this.
You want to throw them away? Okay, Penny. Okay, Ron and him.
Man, I know we're all quarantining at home right now, but I hope that you're doing a little better than that. We're actually going to hear from Taylor and see how she's doing at home.
$138. Today, this number has become pretty significant to me in my life. You may ask, Taylor, that is the most random number you could possibly think of. You're right. So I'm going to give you a second. In the chat, what do you think that the number 138 represents? If you know me, you might think, well, obviously it's the amount of ice cream she's eaten this past month. Or maybe it's the number of Zoom calls I've done this week alone. Or maybe it's the amount of dog treats I've secretly snuck my dog during quarantine. What do you think it means? Well, if you guess the number of days I've spent in quarantine with my family in my childhood home, you are correct. Now, just a little backstory for you. My family and I includes my brother and my parents and me. We haven't lived together, all four of us, since I was in the 8th grade. So it's been a while. In the 8th grade, my brother went to college and moved out. But now, here we are at day 138 of quarantine. And while it's been good, we've had a lot of fun doing puzzles, watching all the Marvel movies in perfect sequential order, and playing a lot of Pokemon Go together. I firmly believe that's the foundation of any good family. There have been moments of tension and frustration. Like, it's real. I've noticed in this time of quarantine myself thinking and saying things along the lines of, no, I don't really feel like doing that. Can you stop talking to me? I want to do this. No, I don't really want to help you bring in the groceries right now. Ask someone else. Can you stop talking so loudly? I'm trying to watch something. Hey, I was watching that. I realized that during this time, a lot of my thinking and speaking has revolved around my thoughts, my feelings, my expectations for how quarantine should go, and just in general, me. And when those things are interrupted by my family members, I can feel myself getting pretty annoyed. I've noticed that my default mode becomes this low-key, kind of selfish way of operating in terms of the world of Taylor. Pretty much everything I process is the world according to Taylor and how that should play out. So I want you to spend a moment just thinking to yourself, has there been a time during quarantine when you found yourself operating in that low-key, kind of selfish, the world according to me mindset? In today's encounter with Jesus, we see Jesus talking with his disciples first and then later addressing a crowd. At this point, Jesus has been doing ministry for a while, so his reputation is growing and the amount of followers curious about him is increasing. And it's in the middle of this ministry that we find this conversation with Jesus. So we're going to read from Mark 8, verses 31 through 33 first. It says, "Then Jesus began to tell them that the Son of Man must suffer many terrible things and be rejected by the elders, the leading priests, and the teachers of religious law. He would be killed, but 3 days later would rise from the dead." And he began to talk openly with his disciples. Peter took him aside and began to reprimand him for saying such things. Jesus looked around at his disciples and then reprimanded Peter, saying, "Get away from me, Satan." He said, "You are seeing things merely from a human's point of view, not from God's." Jesus begins this encounter by telling about his upcoming rejection and death. And Jesus doesn't beat around the bush. He just tells it like it is. He tells his disciples that some hard times are about to come his way, that he's going to give his life as a sacrifice, that this sacrifice will be for all of humanity so that they can experience that close relationship with God. And at this point, his disciples have spent a lot of time with him, getting to know what he's about. But then something kind of unexpected happens. Peter, one of the most famous disciples, what does he do? How does he respond to Jesus? He calls Jesus out. That's a bold move, Peter. Bold move. Peter tries to deny the sacrifice and suffering of Jesus. Who wants to experience sacrifice and suffering anyways? Peter, like most of us, is holding on to what he thinks should happen. Peter is thinking in terms of the world according to Peter. And then we keep reading in chapter 8, verses 34 through 37. It says, "Then calling to the crowd to join his disciples, he said, 'If any of you wants to be my follower, you must give up your own way, take up your cross, and follow me. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake and for the sake of the good news, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your soul? Is anything worth more than your soul?'" In response to Peter's words, Jesus tells not only his disciples, but a whole crowd that to be his followers, they have to live sacrificial lives. And then Jesus goes on to tell this really famous verse of taking up our crosses and following him. In this moment, Jesus is reminding them that following God is not always easy. Here, the cross represents doing things that are hard or uncomfortable in order to love God and love others. Jesus' message is clear. Following him requires sacrifice. We must be willing to be selfless, not selfish. We must be willing to live beyond the world according to me perspective. This isn't always the easiest thing to do. Sometimes it's annoying, uncomfortable, awkward even. We might feel and experience some type of pain and suffering in the process. But in this process of being selfless, we're able to draw close to God, knowing that he himself has experienced hardship and knows what it's like to go through hard times in order to love others and be the person that God has created us to be. We aren't always meant to take the easy way out in life or avoid situations that might stretch us or help us grow. By being selfless, we're opening ourselves up to this world according to God and kind of leaving behind the world according to me. Then Jesus continues by saying this really mind-boggling sentence, saying, "If you try to hang on to your life, you'll lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel, you will save it." I know. Doesn't that whole thing just sound backwards to you? I know if I want to save something, I cling on to that thing for dear life. But with Jesus, it's different. With Jesus, it's about having trust in who he is. It's about having faith that God will guide us along the way. I don't know about you, but this is not the easiest thing for me to do all the time. I love to plan my day, to make my to-do list, to make sure I know exactly what to expect from each day, even during quarantine when my lists include watching movies. It's easy to put my plans and my wants as the most important thing. But sometimes when this happens and I focus so much on what I want and what I plan, I tend to ignore the way that God is present and moving in my own life and in the lives of those around me. As a family, these past few months haven't been the easiest. There's been some unexpected things that have come up that have definitely rocked us. And as I've been preparing for today and reading over this passage time after time, I've realized a few things. The first thing I've realized is that I'm really grateful to go through these things together as a family. But if I'm being honest with you, the world according to Taylor comes up probably a little bit too often. There have been countless days where my family have had hard days, emotional days, and they clearly just need someone to listen and to talk to. But in those moments, I'm really not the nicest person, and I don't always give my time to listen to them. The second thing I've learned is I've been able to witness my family, my brother, and my parents living this sacrificial life that Jesus talks about. I've seen my mom, after a long, hard day of taking care of her patients, go out of her way to buy me supplies for the ministry, to buy me posters for the new 6th graders, to even buy me ice cream when she knows school is stressful for me. Because, let's be real, ice cream solves everything for me. I've seen my parents frequently call my grandparents, visit them from a social distance, bringing them groceries just so they don't have to leave their home. My brother has listened to me ramble on end. And if you know me, you know I can talk. He's been there and he just listens. He even set up this outdoor projector the other night so we could have a special viewing of Hamilton for the second or third time because he knows how much I love it. These moments, they don't seem like much, but I think we can all admit that after being in quarantine for 138 days, we're tired, we're drained, and it's easy to kick into that world according to me. But my parents and my brother, they haven't. They've shown me this way of Jesus. In the chat, I would love for you just to put a quick time when you have seen your family members sacrifice some time or some energy to do something nice for someone else in your family. What has that looked like for you guys during quarantine? I think Jesus' invitation in Mark 8 is still calling to us today in 2020. It's reminding us not to get so wrapped up in our plans, not to hold our wants as the most important thing, but it's inviting us to live a sacrificial life, just like Jesus said, to leave behind the world according to me, and to embrace the perspective of the world according to God. Before we close, I want you to hear this really important part, because it's easy to kind of hear this passage a little wrong. This is what this passage is not saying. This passage does not mean that you shouldn't care for yourself. Self-care is an important part of living into who God created you to be. This passage is not saying that you shouldn't respect yourself or love yourself. You should always respect and love yourself because Jesus really loves who you are as you are. Instead, Jesus is asking us, reminding us to not allow that selfish point of view to get in the way of us participating in what God is doing within us and within the world around us. Let's pray to close. Jesus, following you is not always easy. Following you requires us to be a sacrifice and to sacrifice some of the things that we want and we plan for. And so God, we just ask that you help us realize those moments when we go into that default mode of the world according to me. Help us to see the world according to you, God, and help us to love and care and go a little bit out of our way to really show the people around us how much you love them. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Everything's on the altar now. Oh, no turning back, no holding out. Hey, oh, in view you of your matchless sacrifice. Oh, take every treasure, take this life. All that I am for all that you are, my Lord. All that I am for all that you are. You're the pearl beyond price, greater than life. All that I am for all that you are. Selfish ambition and my pride, I'm giving up, I'm letting die. Oh, in these empty hands, I have it all, I have it all. The pure joy of knowing you, my Lord. Oh, I'm giving all that I have for all that you are. All that I am, all that I have for all that you are. You're the pearl beyond price, greater than life. All that I am for all that you are. It's only in surrender that I'm free, truly free. Only in surrender that I'm free. Only in surrender that I'm truly free. Oh, only in surrender, Lord, that I'm truly free. Oh, all that I have for all that you are, Lord. All that I am for all that you are. You're the pearl beyond price. You're greater than all this life. All that I am for all that you are. All that I am for all that you are. All that I am for all that you are. 'Cause you're the pearl beyond price. You are greater than life. All that I have for all that you are. You, Lord, are greater than all other things in this life. All that I am for all that you are. Oh, all that I am for all that you are. Oh, all that I am for all that you are.
We are so glad you chose to hang out with us tonight. We hope that along the way you smiled, laughed, had a little fun, and maybe you even discovered a little bit more about who you are, who God is, who you are to God, and who God is to you. Well, we're tracking through the book of Mark, so you can read that along with us. But next week, we're going to have Blair from the Foxborough campus bring to us from Mark 14, verses 1 through 9. Oh, by the ways, the first 5 people who say something in the chat of what they learned from Taylor will get a $10 gift card to Amazon. Go! It's in the chat. It's $10. Go! What are you waiting for?
I'll pay you $10 for it. $10.
Oh, and just one more thing. Come back next week to find out what we're doing with this.
each one of the chicken nuggets, they're each gonna get 10 chicken nuggets, and each one of them is going to have a different sauce on them.
Why?
Because Akash is mean. Akash made them do this. Because we did it to him.
Why did you do that to him?
Because we thought it'd be funny. Truman, do you like hot sauce? No. Does Dad like hot sauce?
No.
Do you think this is gonna be funny?
I did on the table.
You are on the table. I'm not sure how we all feel about this.
I like eating on the table.